Hey there, folks. Let's not be stupid. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Let's discuss wisdom. But let's not get confused between the difference between wisdom versus intelligence. Wisdom in an individual indicates an intimate knowledge of something. But just because someone is wise does not necessitate that the individual is of exceptional intelligence. No one wants to be considered stupid. Yet you will have to admit there are individuals superior in intelligence than others. However, just because we are not wise in a matter does not mean we are of low intelligence. Often enough, our ignorance in a subject betrays a fear of being perceived as an idiot. Much of the time, the fear of being seen as stupid comes from a mere lack of understanding in a subject matter, not being wise in the subject at hand. So, in an attempt to alleviate folks, your ignorance in a subject does not indicate a lack of intelligence. Stupidity is better associated with a lack or deviation from common sense. There are plenty of smart or clever individuals in this world who may not be considered wise or even intelligent. You see, there are varying interpretations of knowledge or expression of intellect, which are misconstrued at times. Well, here, let me explain more coherently. When someone is smart, it indicates a person's ability to express their intelligence in an acute manner or quickly, regardless of the level of their intelligence. How quick are they to express it? These individuals may seem as clever and witty. They're quick. It is speed of expression of their thoughts. Such an individual can be considered smart. I think comedians might be portrayed as a good example of this, especially those who can improvise without a script and communicate with the audience on the fly. Clever and witty seems to be a good example of being smart. However, this is not a measure of high intellect, merely the readiness and aptitude in speed to display their comprehension to whatever degree that they do have. Intelligence, in my opinion, or a measure of intellect, indicates one's ability to comprehend complexity of a subject. However, being wise indicates the individual's possession of knowledge. Thus, to be wise in a subject means the individual knows about it. They don't need to look it up. I perceive it as more of a concentration or depth or breadth of knowledge. Thus, different people can be wise in different subject matters. Then there's genius, which I believe is often misused. Genius, in my personal opinion, is the ability to communicate a complexity, not merely understand it, but communicate it or translate it to others in a simple manner. Or simply put, genius is taking something complex and simplifying it. Thus, one can have high intellect with intimate knowledge in a subject, but I would not consider the individual a genius if they could not make the knowledge understandable to one not wise in the subject. Again, no one wants to be considered stupid. So let's all seek wisdom and knowledge. However, haven't we all heard that ignorance is bliss? For in much wisdom is much grief. And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Wisdom and knowledge has its rather painful side effect. Experience in life teaches us many lessons, some that are so painful that there are people who will wish that they had never learned them, and had remained ignorant. Yes, experience is one of the most effective, if not the most effective ways of obtaining wisdom and knowledge. Actually, doing something gives you first-hand knowledge. But sometimes it's wiser to learn from another to protect yourself. So a safer route is to seek wise counsel. Talk to those who are wise in the matter. Maybe some old man whom you know has experienced that which you are considering doing before you take the plunge. If you are wise, you might be able to avoid suffering and sorrow by listening. This brings us to mentorship. It seems for a time, mentoring decreased in popularity for a while. I'm not sure about that. Maybe someone has a perspective on this. Does anyone else think that the apprentice-mentor relationship died away for a while in our culture? It still exists in some extent for sure, but what are y'all's experience in its effectiveness in our day and age? I have experienced both good and bad quality on this subject, but I personally think on a whole mentorship in our day has degenerated. I think there are few men with admirable strength of character in our society. And the few men that do exist don't seem to be obtaining the admiration and acknowledgement they probably deserve. But back to wisdom. Without a doubt, it is important for us to seek wisdom. But there is still that pain and suffering to consider. So, it is essential that we develop a strength of character in resilience. Yes, a resilient nature, a resilience in character, resilience to endure the inevitable suffering that comes with wisdom and knowledge. Or you can say the suffering that comes with living on this earth. It is essential that our men be tempered with resilience, enduring men, tempered to endure the pains and suffering that wisdom and knowledge brings in our lives, because you will admit there is evil in this world. I truly desire for there to be more men with admirable strength of character in this world to combat evil that is undoubtedly in it. I truly believe our society has becoming increasingly degenerate, and I detest much of what I have perceived. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Where have all the strong men gone? Where have all the good men gone? Where have all the wise men gone, who can mentor and strengthen the young men to be sharp and resilient tools and weapons against the evil in this world? I believe they're around. Few and far between, but I believe they are around.